Hello there, and today on Marvel Snap we are going to do a basic deck building guide, and our deck today that we're going to focus on is going to be an ongoing style deck. So there's many different ways you can play this, and most of these cards that we have right now are free cards that you get after maybe a month of playing or so. You might not have access to all of these cards, but the main theme of the deck is making use of the ongoing abilities. I have two different style of decks, and today we're just going to cover the one deck and do an example of a game. It's not the best deck out there, and we are focusing on Onslaught because Onslaught is one of the first cards that you're going to get early on in the game. You're going to get an Onslaught and a Claw, and then you have your different options for your other ongoing abilities that you can use, and I'm going to explain the different choices that I made in my deck versus other choices that you can do on your deck building. Of course, this deck is basically themed on getting an Onslaught. It's kind of weak, and at the end of the day, it's kind of weak and very reliant on Onslaught because of just the combination that it involves using it. So yeah, it's not going to be the best deck. It's something you can do at the start though to get by. So if you want to do the basic thing, start with your level 6 guy you're going to use. I'm not using both of these together because using two level 6 guys is kind of detrimental because you can only use one at a time to your deck. So focus on the Onslaught, who doubles your other ongoing abilities. Claw is a good option to use as your level, your 5th turn card, because he gives you a +6 to the other location. So you can double that up to a +12. So you're adding a +12 basic guy over to the other side for free. So this guy, +12, he's so his total power can end up being 16 power for a 5 card cost, which is pretty decent again, but not the best in the game. The other card you can use is Iron Man, and he is a really good gain when you have him with Onslaught because he doubles the power of the zone, and Onslaught doubles it again. So yeah, if you have 10 power in the zone, you'll get 20 from Iron Man, and then you'll double that up to another +20 for 40 for Onslaught playing on there. So you can get up to really high powers having an Iron Man, but you're going to be weak in the other zones, so you're going to have to make sure you build up the other zones properly if you're doing that. So you might want to stick with something other powerful, a level 4 guy, maybe you want to stick this guy in here who has ongoing +5. He's not going to help you very much, but he can help you get that other zone with that one card, so he is a good choice. I took him out because I was trying out Xavier, but Xavier with the level 1 guys, you get him a little bit later on. I think you might get him first, but it's not working out. So honestly, having him in here to power up these level 1 guys is nice, and doubling up his power is nice with Onslaught. But Onslaught can't double up his power, but I'm not getting the effect I want off of this. But you still want to have 4 cards in here when that relies on getting Ant-Man and keeping him alive, or something like that for that zone if you're going to do that. Or you have someone like the Punisher instead of this Mr. Fantastic is doubling up on this thing. But sometimes I would usually stick the Punisher in there with his ongoing ability, but it's reliant on them playing a lot of cards in that zone. This guy is just a guaranteed power to the other zones to help you out. But for today's example, and I have all these level 1 guys in here to take it out there, so what we're going to do to modify this deck is we're going to take out Xavier because he's a 4th turn thing right there, and we're going to stick this guy in here so we can leave his zone open and have 1 card, and he'll be +5. So we're adding him in the deck, and since we're adding him, we might not pull a level 5 or level 6 guy. We need to add some extra power so we can take out some of these guys which aren't really that effective, which would be Yondo. He's nice to have to be a deck on there, or this draw card guy. We don't need to draw extra cards, random cards. We have our own cards. It's not really a draw deck, so we're going to take him out there instead. And why? And we're going to do that so we can add armor on there, because armor is always a good card. He's on reveal. We don't have very few on reveal cards in your deck when you're doing this, because we have the card to block it, Cosmo. But where is armor? Hello, armor. 3/5. We have him in here because he merges for his on reveal ability, and you can stick him on this guy. So in the zone with just 1 guy, and you have the chance, you can put him on there and give him a nice big power boost so you can take that zone. That's why we're adding him. We also have, let's go back to the on reveal, the ongoing part of this deck, and focus on that. We're going to have Cosmo in there. This is going to block off a zone for on reveal abilities and stop those pesky Odin decks on their on reveal abilities if you have that in there for another option. So having other options for lower card costs is a good thing to have too, but with the ongoing abilities, we have nothing for level 2 ongoing cards. There's nothing going on there for ongoing that have more power, and what we're focusing on is more power. So you'd have to go on there and stick some on reveal abilities or any of the abilities for a 2-cost power guy in the middle. middle. The only other guy with this guy's on reveal. It's not ongoing. We don't have much, as we saw. We can have some on reveal guys, but that kind of defeats the purpose of our Onslaught on there. So we're not going to get the most out of him in there, and it's going to, this guy's going to focus our deck a little bit more off to the side. But let's do that. Let's try this up there. So this is why we have Cosmo in there, because he is just, let's take us off there. He is just fun to have to wreck other decks on reveal abilities. You can play him if you get lucky. But if not, he's there. He's there as an option to stop the other guys. The other reason for this deck is this Nightcrawler is to move him around. Electra is to kill those other guys, pesky level 1 guys that might be powered up. Like they might stick an armor on a level 1 guy. You might want to kill him off for that, for doing something silly like that. And then, of course, Yondo to make him discard a card. He's my top choice as one of those on-reveal cards that to annoy people. But there wasn't much of a choice for on level 1 cards. You can pick what you want. But the main theme on this deck is get Onslaught and either Claw or Iron Man on there, and maybe try and get a fantastic and Ant-Man on there too. So right here, you want Ant-Man. There's no choices for level 2 for ongoing abilities to power up, but you can stick on this guy level turn 3 and stick one of these guys on turn 5, and then Onslaught on turn 6 and take the other power in zones. That is the theme of this deck. For this style of deck, the other video is going to be focused on the Spectrum build, which is better than this one here. I found more fun with the Spectrum build, but we're going to try this out here as our as our ongoing deck to our basic deck. And let's get started and show you what this deck looks like in action. It's not guaranteed to win, of course. I get lots of pay to win guys that have like way more better cards than I do. So a basic deck like this at the start of the game is going to do you by until you get the better cards. Most of these cards are like you can get right away, so there's no issue with that. But you play somebody that's paid to win, you're not going to win most of the time. You have to get lucky on the zones. But this will be an example of how this deck works for all those who don't know on the ongoing deck versus the other kind of decks you're going to fight. This is the standard theme deck, and this is taking quite a bit of time for wait time. Back. So there we go. We got a guy. He's got the little backing right there, so he's already past level 100 type of thing. He's using this probably because he's got the other special power card to power up his deck with Cyclops in it. Is how they usually do it. After 3 turns, switch. All cards switch sides. We don't want that, so we'll just start off with an Ant-Man in the middle. Not much else to do for our draw because, it's all about random cards. We didn't get all the cards that we want. Any of the cards that we want for the end of the game. Sunspot, yeah. So we're playing a deck we have probably no chance of beating, by the way. +5 energy, well, that helps. That's going to help out our deck. But with the cards we got, it's not going to help. We got a 4 and a 3. After turn 3, all cards can switch sides. We don't want to give them that. We're going to pump up this card right here. So this is going to be our free, and this will screw him up off of this thing, I hope. We'll see what he does. We'll just pump up this card zone right here. It's iffy playing a card on this zone when you don't know what it is. And he played cards on this zone, so there might be something special on this zone. He might be able to see it. He might have that on reveal ability. So let's see what he has. Scorpion, yay, thank you. And Cyclops, of course, to make my guy weaker. And a Shocker, well, that's shocking. He probably just pumped up his Hulk. And this is the more cards plus 100 power, so yeah. Fuck me sideways, right? Just fucking great. That is just a piece of crap draw. Look at this. What am I going to do with 3 cards here? These cards on reveal. So let's what am I going to do here? Let's save this card for last turn. Maybe we could just do a last turn thing. And after turn 3, so our cost switch. So he's going to give me this card, so thank you. I'm going to put this guy here. Is what I'm going to do. He already got used to this card. This card is useless to him now, but I don't know why he gave it to me. But thanks. Thanks for the card. And you got negatives on there, and we got Onslaught for turn 6, so there's not much we can do with this. Like, what do we do with this? Like, I have to play, but I might get a 5-card cost. I have to play here, like Iron Man or something, that I might have to play. I don't know what I'm going to do. This gives him a chance to do something, like killing that guy on him. Chomp. Yeah, of course. He's got that card in the deck to kill my cards. Of course. Turn 5. I don't have enough cards to do anything there. So, what am I going to do? Nothing. He's going to make this guy weaker, so we'll zoom him over to there. How about we Maybe we'll fake him out. We'll fake him out and say we're going to play him here because this guy's not going to matter for power. We'll just move him over. Get a claw there. Say we're playing him here. Make my guys negative. Guaranteed to lose. Guaranteed to lose. Incoming a Hulk. What's his power going to be? Basically, how strong is Hulk going to be and blast me to smithereens? And as plus as those other guys, he probably dip down a Hulk, the other big guy. Well, there he goes. The Enchantress, lose my powers. Yeah, great. Of course you have an Enchantress and I reveal first. How's that work? You have all that power, I reveal first. Killed my fucking cards there, but I still won. How did I win that? Because he got fancy. Victory! That is an example on how this deck works. He should have just dropped his Hulk down there and he still would have beat me. He could have had a whole bunch of other options with his deck. Like there's the other card that could have been free, the 1/9 guy, She-Hulk, you don't spend energy. He probably has all that shit in his hand, in his deck. But he's using dick cards like Chung and Enchantress to fuck people over. So he's more focused on fucking people over instead of actually playing his deck as he's supposed to play. And that's why he lost. But anyways, that is an example of this deck. Watch the other videos for examples of how the other decks works, and you can actually see Enchantress just perfectly played, just screws you over. But that is it for today. No more examples. I'm probably going to lose the rest of these matches, by the way. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.